Good day, beautiful people. This is why some women go after the money. I already know I'm going to hear about this, and it's okay because this is my opinion, how I view it, how I see it, and what I have seen. A lot of women are not gold diggers. They're just viewed as gold diggers because they seem to always go after the money. For me, my explanation of this is because that is what seems to hurt. Taking the money and going after the money is what seems to hurt. And that's what gets the reaction. It's not necessarily always the money she's going after, it's a reaction. Usually, doing the same thing to a man does not affect him the same way it affected the woman that he wronged. For example, if you're dealing with a man that's a narcissist, in return, you being a narcissist, it may help your situation, but it's not going to change anything because narcissists don't really seem to be sensitive to emotional distress. So, you doing the same thing in return to him is not going to have the same effect as what he does to you has. Also, if a man has cheated on you, you know how it feels to be cheated on as a woman. So, with that being said, if you in turn go and cheat on that man, he's not going to have the same reaction, the same feelings about the situation that you had when you were wronged. It's just never going to be the same. He'll probably just keep going on and doing it over and over and over again. And at that point, you can't go tit for tat forever. So, as far as trying to retaliate or get him back with you cheating in return, it's really not going to benefit you at all. So, with that being said, again, what he does to you is not going to affect him the same way if you do it back to him. It's just never going to be the same. So, that's the reason why some women just go ahead and go after the money. Now, I'm going to talk about a few celebrities and their situations because in the past, I have had conversations with men about this, and they talk about, oh, she didn't deserve half, she didn't deserve this, and she didn't deserve that. Now, the first one is Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was married for almost 30 years, and for whatever reason, I do not know their circumstances or the reason for their divorce. However, they divorced. And if I am correct and I remember correctly, she was going after half. And people say, oh, she doesn't deserve half. She doesn't deserve this and doesn't deserve that. 30 years, in my opinion, deserves half. You have no idea, if you have not been married for 30 years, what people go through in 30 years. And I can't say that Dr. Dre was all in the wrong because, like I said, I'm not in that relationship. I wasn't in the relationship. However, we all are familiar with Dr. Dre's track record. So if that's an indication of anything, then we can go from there. I'm going to remind you of D. Barnes. And if you don't know about that situation, you can go and look it up. And if you don't remember about the singer Michelle, of whom he was in a relationship, you can go and look that situation up. Now, with that being said, the ex-wife, you have no idea what that woman went through. You have no right to say that she did not deserve half. Because just because she wasn't in the radio stations or the record booth making beats or making songs, she was there. She was a support system. She was having his children. She was taking care of the home, helping him in emotionally and psychologically go through whatever it is he was going through those 30 years. So to say that a woman doesn't deserve half is to say that all of those things she went through does not equate or is not equal to a certain amount of money. My opinion, 30 years deserves half, especially if you do not know what that woman has been through. Number two, Mr. Michael Jordan. Juanita, once again, if I am not mistaken, got half. People say, oh, she didn't deserve half. She wasn't out there on the basketball court playing those games and running and dribbling and doing this and this and that. Again, you have no idea what that woman went through. It may not have been in a career or on a basketball court and her actually doing the work to bring in that amount of money. But the stress, the torment, the agony, the emotional agony or whatnot that that woman went through, knowing her husband was out there being unfaithful, and if I'm not mistaken, again, even having a child or two on her, that is such a hurtful feeling that no amount of money can amend. And for her, I'm sure it wasn't even about the money. The money was just icing on the cake on her way out. But to say that she doesn't deserve it, that's just something to think about. Because again, unfortunately, some men just look at the money. They just look at the fact whether or not she actually worked for the money, but they don't know the other side. They don't know what that woman had to go through. They don't know, what she had to go through to bear his children. Number 3, Cassie. And I'm going to briefly talk about this situation. Now, I have heard some people say, oh, she knew the situation she was getting into. She volunteered for that. I doubt very seriously that a woman signs up to be SA'd. A woman signs up to be pimped out. And as you can see in this recent video, a woman signs up to be beaten, dragged, kicked, stomped out. It doesn't matter the man or his status or whatever the case may be. That's not right in any type of situation. Even if that woman voluntarily is with that man, and of course she probably was voluntarily with him at first, but after a while, I can probably go ahead and say it was fear that kept her there. So again, to say that Cassie did not deserve the 30 million, and now that the truth is coming out and you have a visual, you can see it, you see what that woman has been through, who are you to say that she didn't deserve that money? So it's not that she's a gold digger, it's just the money is a compensation. And that's why some women go after the money. The same thing with child support. If you're dealing with a man and then he wrongs you, I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying that this is a reaction. This is an explanation as to why. So some of you just sit and listen. Don't jump to judgment. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm not excusing it when it comes to child support. I'm explaining it. If you wrong a woman, you have a child with her, the first thing she does is she goes to child support and puts you on child support. Now, sometimes she may actually need the money if you're not helping her or supporting her sufficiently. However, sometimes it's to hurt you because she may know that you don't have it. And she may know that that's going to put a stress or a strain on you. All right? So it's not necessarily about the money. It's to get a reaction, because we could never make you feel how you made us feel. It's impossible. It's impossible. So again, this is some of the reasons why women go after the money. And before you jump to say, oh, she didn't deserve it, you need to slow yourself down, as in the case with Cassie, and evaluate the situation and see maybe there is a whole lot going on that you didn't see. And money is just a compensation or a reconciliation of the emotional trauma and all the other things she has been through. And men have to realize that a woman gives up a ton. She gives up way more than a man does when she gets married, in my opinion. She gives up her name. She gives up her autonomy. She gives up a means to take care of herself financially. If she decides, or if they choose for her to stay at home, then she's not actually bringing that money in. So she's dependent on him. And another thing, if you give up your body, and when you get into a marriage, because you go in and you have children, the children take months to develop and grow, and then after that you have to rear them, you have to raise them, and it takes time and it takes a toll on your body. So again, it's not necessarily that a woman is a gold digger. It's just that the money is a retribution in some cases where these women have been abused in some way or not, or they've been wronged, or they're not the fault for the divorce or for the end of the relationship, then they are compensated in that way. But I want to thank you all for watching and for listening, and give me your questions, comments, and concerns about this situation. You all be blessed.